Welcome to Know Before You Go for the 21st Sunday in Ordinary Time. My name is Father Brian Walker. Jesus' ministry was filled with wonder, awe, miracles, and so much doubt. So much was going on that time. And so many people followed Jesus because they saw so many wonderful things. They heard a lot of things, but they saw so many wonderful things. Today, we hear in the gospel about how some of Jesus' own followers, they were the ones that began to truly doubt. He said something that they just couldn't grasp. He talked about giving them that bread of life and that he was the bread of life come down from heaven. And some of them just couldn't understand that. They had a hard time with that kind of talk. And so many of them began to not believe. Even after all that they had seen, all of the wonders, all of the great miracles, they still began to doubt. And because of that, many of them began to leave his company. Imagine. We live in a world today where we always want to see things. We hear about the motto of Missouri, the show me state, because if we can see it, then we can believe it, then we can understand it. It's just like with this virus. So many people don't see it. They're not touched by it. And so they doubt that it even exists. Some of them wonder, and some of them have made the decision not to be vaccinated. Some have made the decision to not even believe. Here we have Jesus with so much happening, his preaching, his explanation, his talk of the Father's love, and still it wasn't enough. Why? Because they doubted in the very words that he spoke, when he spoke about coming down from heaven. And what does that mean? It means that each and every one of us has our existence in heaven, but at the same time, Jesus is very special because he leads us back to heaven. He shows us the way. They couldn't believe. And yet, here we have the disciples, and Jesus comes up to them, those, the chosen 12, and he says, "Do you also wish to leave?" And Peter, as the spokesperson for all of the 12, gets up and says, "Lord, where can we go? To whom shall we go?" The question is asked of us. There is so much happening. And here we are 2,000 years later, and we still have all that's happening in the world taking place. And sometimes we find ourselves doubting and not believing. I count myself among those. And so I still have to strengthen my faith each and every day. Where will you turn? To whom shall you go? Even after all that you've seen, after all that you've experienced, where do you find your hope? Amen.